How do? Welcome back. Blimey, I've been busy. I've been busy this morning. I've been renovating a Morse code key. It was in a real sorry state, but I've managed to polish up the brass and oil the wood. It's an old Kent key. They used to make these in Preston, but they moved to Germany a few years ago. Really nice key. So I've been doing that. I've been renovating another one. This is a nice piece of solid brass. These are paddles though. So yeah, I'm cleaning this up. This was in a real state, but I'm starting to get the shine back, so that's good. And I also put on another jar of pickled onions. I'm doing a jar a week now. They take about 4 to 6 weeks to mature, and they're bloody lovely. I've just opened my first jar from about 4 or 6 weeks ago, and they're tasting great. Anyway, I'm going to have a beer today, and it is the Young's Harvest Bitter, and it's been 2 weeks now in the bottle. It had about 2 weeks in the fermenter, so I thought I'm going to give this a go because I'm ready for a beer after all that work this morning. So it's looking nice and clear in the bottle, but it's only been 2 weeks, so I don't think it'll compact down just yet, and it'll probably disturb some sediment. Oh, good hiss there! Wow. I'm going to pour it in my nail maker glass. We'll see what this beer's like. Oh, it's a bit lively. It's a bit on the lively side. I have to pour a bit gentle. Oh, and that's a really nice, thick, creamy sort of looking head. This is just a 1 can kit. Very nice carbonation. It's a 1 can kit, and I just did old school. Kilogram of table sugar. Look at that. 4 weeks old. 2 weeks in the fermenter, 2 weeks in the bottle in a warmish room temperature. That looks nice. I probably won't be able to smell anything though with that head. Bit of a sweet malt. Let me drink some of that before it overflows. I only put half a teaspoon of sugar in this, but that's really carved up well. Yeah, a little bit sweet aroma, a little bit of herbliness in there as well, like some earthy notes. But it's very faint. That could be due to the size and how tightly compact that head is. But it is. It's a faint aroma, but it's sweet, malty, and some like earthy, herbally notes as well. Right, let's take a taste. Ready for this? Oh, that's refreshing. That's nice. Light to medium bodied and sweet. You get a really nice sweet toffee, caramelly note. But surprisingly, they call it a bitter, but it's actually not that bitter at all. You do get a little bit of sharpness, sort of mid palate, and then it just goes. It just fades away, and you're left with sort of like a semi-dry finish. But there's no bitterness to speak of. So it's not really a bitter, is it? If it's not bitter. But all in all, it's a nice pint. I think the kit was only about £12.95, something like that. And with the 80p bag of sugar, I think this works out at about 35p a glass. So you can't complain too much, can you? If this was a commercial beer, it would probably sit in like your £1 bargain bucket beers. or your supermarket own branded bitters. Like Tesco, I don't know if they still do it, they used to have these blue stripe product lines, budget product lines, and I think they used to do a lager, blue stripe lager. I think they did a bitter as well. Or Morrison's, they do I think they do one, it's only 2.5%, but it's only £2.50 for 4. So it's like, what's that, just over 60p, is it, something like that, for a can, 440ml. So it sits firmly in that sort of class of beers, except this turned out at 3.9%. So it started at 10.40 and it came down to 10.10. So it's a 3.9% beer, and it's only costing 35p. And to be honest, you know, I can't tell that that was made with table sugar. Would it have been better if I'd used malt or a brew enhancer? Well, yeah, of course it will. But if you just want to make a sessionable, quick beer, and all you've got available is a kilogram bag of table sugar, just throw it in. Very similar beer to review next. That's the Cooper's. The Cooper's English Bitter. You know, I always said that my Cooper's had soured. Well, it had. I threw it away, but I got another one, and I'm making another. That should be ready for sampling next weekend. I made a mistake with that souring though, because I've done a bit of research online and it was naturally soured. It wasn't harmful, although I left it a bit too long and it was a bit vinegary. But that's made me wonder if I should do some more experimentations with sour beers, because I think the bacteria that soured it is the bacteria from all my fermented vegetables. It's called lactobacillus, and my kitchen must be full of it because I do a lot of fermented vegetables like sauerkraut and pickles and things. Because the old bucket, it wasn't sealing correctly, some of it must have got in, and it was that was souring the beer. So I'm thinking I might do a bit of experimenting with some sour beers. Just leave the lid open a little bit, see if it can get infected with all this lactobacillus that's flying around my kitchen. But then take regular tastings, and so when it's soured enough, I can just stop it, bottle it. But I left that far too long, that would just turn to vinegar. But there you go, that might be another experiment in the coming months. Naturally soured beer. Anyway, yeah, so this is a decent one. You can't grumble for 35p a glass. It's a sessionable ale, basically. I wouldn't have called it a bitter myself, because there's no bitterness there. It's all about the malt, the toffee malt, a little bit of sharpness in mid-palate from the hop. It's like an earthy sharpness. And then just a nice semi-dry finish, no bitterness at all to speak of. So it's a nice sessionable 3.9% English ale. So it'll be interesting to compare it with the Cooper's next week. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to get back after this and do some more restoration work on my Morse code keys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.